Next up, hot on the heels of publishing new research into smart cities this morning, we are lucky enough to have a keynote from our partner JLL and their Global Director of Research, Jeremy Kelly. Please put your hands together for his presentation, Unlocking the Key to Smart City Innovation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Jeremy Kelly, and I'm the lead director of JLL's Cities Research Program. And it's a multi-year quest to assess city competitiveness and the role of real estate in the very success or failure of our cities. And I'm particularly delighted to be in Singapore today, because few would argue that Singapore has probably been amongst the most successful cities of the last couple of decades. And after all, and one of the reasons why I'm here, is that JLL has just ranked Singapore as the third most innovative cities in the world, behind only San Francisco and Tokyo. And Singapore is also, as we all know, widely regarded as being one of the world's smartest cities. So as part of the Smart Nation Innovations Week, today what I'm going to do is explore the role of innovation and cities, in driving our cities rather, and assess the role that real estate plays in creating vibrant, innovation-based economies. And certainly, innovation has become a buzzword of city success, and the real estate industry is catching on. Major corporations have long targeted talent-rich innovation hubs, but the war for talent is heating up as they focus on talent hotspots. And among real estate investors, several large investment managers, for example, have started to explicitly target cities that are perceived to have strong innovation systems. Meanwhile, city governments are looking to the innovation economy and to innovation districts to drive the next phase of economic expansion. And related to this, many cities are investing in smart city initiatives to help them meet the challenges of absorbing growth and improving the lives of the citizens. So it's not really surprising that technology and innovation and smartness are front and center of the debate on the future of our cities. And innovation ecosystems are really key to driving productivity and economic growth, and by implication, real estate demand. And there's certainly a significant body of evidence that shows that cities that have strong innovation infrastructure, that have strong talent concentrations, have outperformed in economic terms over the last couple of decades. But equally, as we all know, there's a huge amount of hype out there and heightened expectations about innovation-oriented economies and innovation districts. And its characteristics and benefits are often conflated with smart city initiatives. And so we at JLL, International Real Estate Advisors, have set out to set out some fresh light on innovation and smartness through the lens of the real estate sector, through the launch of two new reports. First, our Innovation Geographies, in which we explore over 100 cities worldwide to quantify their talent and innovation attributes, and to identify which cities are truly equipped to adapt most successfully to the innovation economy. And then Smart City Success, connecting people, prop tech, and real estate, which we produced in collaboration with Charles Reed Anderson, which we explore what it means to be a smart city. And so what I'm going to do is bring these two elements together to explore the role of real estate in creating more intelligent cities for our citizens and our businesses. But let me first look at the evolving geography of global innovation. And here I map out the top 20 cities in JLL's Innovation Index, based on a pretty broad definition of innovation that looks at the not only software, but at life sciences, at high-value manufacturing, at scientific and R&D. And maybe you're not surprised about some of the cities at the top of that list. Certainly San Francisco comes out as top as home to Silicon Valley's world-beating startup scene. But what is perhaps more surprising, and what surprised us a little, is that the top ranks are no longer dominated by the North American and the European cities. In fact, Asia-Pacific cities are more present in these top rankings than they would have been even a few years ago. And in fact, 7 out of the top 20 top innovation cities are based in this region. And if we then drill down into Asia-Pacific specifically, we can see Tokyo and Singapore, both well-established world cities, are first and second regionally as innovation hubs, with the region's deepest concentration of innovation. But they're also joined at the top by Beijing and by Seoul. Seoul is supported by the world's largest, amongst some of the world's largest and most productive high-tech companies, and has one of the highest share of high-tech employment, and crucially is developing a vibrant startup scene. Beijing has a very well-established innovation system. It has nurtured the most unicorns outside of Silicon Valley and is the world's third largest destination for venture capital funding. And it's not just Beijing. We can also see Shenzhen and Shanghai are also in the top 12, testimony to the ascendancy of Chinese major cities as hotbeds of innovation. Meanwhile, Bangalore sits in 8th position, epitomizes the rise of several Indian cities in the global innovation ecosystem. Now, by combining our innovation metrics, which are on the horizontal axis, against measures of talent on the vertical axis that relate to demography, education levels, high-tech employment, we can start to map out different styles of innovation geographies, with cities at different stages in their evolutionary path that offer different levels of opportunity and challenges. So from the global leaders to the talent-rich to the innovation-centric to the transformers, Asia-Pacific has cities at very different points in their evolutionary path. For example, Tokyo is the world's second most innovative city, topping the global league for the number of international patents and spend on R&D, and boasts a truly world-class innovation ecosystem and rapidly evolving innovation districts. Then there's the innovation-centric Shenzhen, 14th position globally for innovation, again illustrating the rise of Chinese cities as hotbeds for innovation. The city has a deep startup ecosystem supported by some of the world's largest and most ambitious digital companies. And this is helping to propel, as we can see here, its demographic profile. Shenzhen has the world's largest share of what we call engine room population, those 20 to 40-year-olds workers, which is growing at nearly 9 times the rate of other Chinese cities. But what these innovation clusters do show us is that there is a strong link between innovation and real estate activity and performance. Put simply, the top performing cities in JLL's Innovation Index and talent concentration indices have recorded the strongest office rental growth over the past decade. Global leaders, innovation-centric, and talent-rich cities have all outperformed. Similarly, they're also attracting a higher proportion of real estate capital. The top 3 clusters account for 75% of global real estate investment. And so there's clearly a very compelling reason why we as real estate professionals are looking to the innovation economies when assessing a city's potential. But of course, we all recognize that the interplay between real estate and innovation is more than just about boosting rental growth or boosting investment activity. Our mantra at JLL is that real estate is a contributor to a vibrant innovation-based economy, not just a consequence of it. The true value of real estate is in providing the infrastructure and environment for productive activity that facilitates creativity, entrepreneurship, and innovation, while at the same time fostering a sense of community and well-being for its citizens in a sustainable urban model. And real estate is really at the forefront of a city's future-proofing drive as our buildings become smarter and more environmentally friendly. And if that's familiar, then what I'm talking about is really smart cities. Real estate will play a pivotal role in the development, operations, and eventual success of smart city initiatives. And we hear so much about smart cities across the Asia-Pacific region. And the number of governments declaring their intention to make their cities smart is quite staggering. So we have China has more than 500 smart cities in the pipeline. India, as we know, has 100 cities in the pipeline by the middle of the next decade. Of course, here in Singapore, we have the Smart Nation initiative, which has since been recognized as one of the world's smartest cities. And other cities that are looking to the smart city initiatives include Taipei, Tokyo, and Fukuoka. And these examples are based on a tight definition of smart cities, one where policies and strategies that leverage technology and data deliver improvements in quality of life, inclusiveness, and services that drive efficiency, sustainability, and decision-making processes of governments, and that creates a transparent, efficient, and competitive environment for businesses. And whilst there is, we reckon, more than 1,000 smart city initiatives announced around the world, we're still not quite there in reaching the smart city ideal. So why are we struggling to meet the expectations? We've identified 4 key areas. The first is the lack of scalability. Cities are struggling to identify cases to deploy or the means to scale them, and bureaucracy is a stumbling block. Secondly, initiatives are overly focused on technology. Often technologies exist, but people aren't using them. Vendors and governments should be looking at better ways to serve the ultimate stakeholder, which is the citizens. Thirdly, it's about behavior. Change is not easy. There is a tendency to want proof points and success immediately, but technology adoption does not happen overnight, and it takes time for governments and business to adapt. And finally, physical space are overlooked, and this is where the real estate industry comes in. And how we use our spaces is the heart of any city. This includes the homes that we live in, the offices that we work in, the places that we spend our free time. And to truly realize the promise of smart cities, we need to recognize the role that real estate will play in developing the truly smart city. Which brings me on to PropTech. The real estate industry is in the midst of a technological leap. While often viewed as a technological laggard, the real estate industry is approaching a tipping point with the rapid growth of PropTech. Spurred by the momentum of the smart city technologies, PropTech offers tangible near-term solutions at all stages in the process, from construction right the way to facilities management. And through PropTech, real estate could really be the connector that could bridge the gap between the technologists on the one side and the government and citizens on the other, for smart cities to be a functioning, meaningful, and successful reality. And how will we do that? By redefining cities through combining urban planning and placemaking and digitization, real estate could develop and redevelop digitally enabled districts within a city that could be new engines of growth. Just think of what Google have announced in Toronto just this week. Secondly, by managing and optimizing spaces, technologies like predictive maintenance, energy management, and environmental sensors can drive operational efficiency, lower energy costs, reduce asset downtime, increase the life of an asset, ensure healthy and comfortable workplaces, as well as enhance business productivity and employment productivity. Thirdly, it's about improving transparency. PropTech now offers tools that better track, collect, and scrape data, improving the quality, consistency, and reliability. And as we've highlighted in JLL's Global Real Estate Transparency Index, these new platforms will enable data sets to be more manageable, boosting transparency for better decision-making. And then, of course, PropTech can also give massive cost-saving opportunities in potential energy savings, more efficient use of resources to boost building and site operations, and increasing the lifespan of better maintained assets. And it's also about improving inclusiveness. Cities ultimately are about people. We don't want technology to isolate or leave communities like the elderly or disabled, vulnerable, or marginalized. There is a real opportunity for a more human-centric approach to smart city development that promotes efficiency, transparency, sustainability, and inclusiveness. And despite all the challenges of smart cities, we need smart solutions more than ever to help our cities absorb massive demographic change. This is particularly true in Asia Pacific, where we're seeing unprecedented levels of urbanization. Asia is already home to more than half of the world's urban population, and within 15 years, the region will be home to nearly 30 megacities, cities over 10 million people, where there will be a pressing need to combat issues of overcrowding and environmental degradation through smart solutions. And we already have many of those solutions and tools today. It's not about inventing new ones, but it's how we can better scale them and deliver them. Smart cities and innovation is a people's issue, not a technology issue. Smart cities will not reach their potential if they focus only on delivering cutting-edge technologies without paying enough attention to the needs of the citizens. We believe that real estate can be that connector between the people, who are the engines of our cities, and the digital infrastructure that is increasingly driving and powering our urban environment. And the real estate industry has to realize that the best smart solutions sit within its domain in terms of delivering tangible business, financial, strategic, operational, and community value. And we think that the industry needs to lead by example, and governments should engage with the real estate industry to work closely to identify smart solutions where the built environment can improve communities and businesses. And we hope that JLL can certainly contribute to that journey going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. And don't miss out on the JLL Smart Cities Suite, which is over by the Convergence stage, if you'd like to learn more.